Greetings and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am Omar Stennett and I'm extremely delighted that you have joined us again for one more episode. We are nearing 30 episode of our Friday, we call them Big Bangers, where we look back at sporting events from the previous week, give our thoughts, not a lot of analysis, but we give our thoughts and our opinion. And that's what they are. We observe, we dissect, we extrapolate, and then we give our opinion. We also make predictions based on our opinion and facts and just what we see with the naked eye. Again, thank you for joining us. And let me thank all of you who have subscribed to the channel. We're nearing 600 subscribers in a very short window. And that is because you believe in us as we believe in you. Thank you again. So wherever you're watching from, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. Woo! Well, we have a lot to cover today. As you know, by the time you get this video, some of what we speak of would have been covered and completed. So we're going to start with some football because there's a lot to cover in football given the events of last weekend. So we're going to deep dive into that right now, as we prepare for the Olympics. But before we get into that, remember, if you have not yet liked, subscribed, or shared any of our videos, take the opportunity to do so now. Like, subscribe, share. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. All right? And when you share, tell the person you're sharing it with to subscribe as well. And check us out on Irie Times TV. Yeah? We're live there Fridays, Saturdays, and on Sundays. So let's dive into it. Let's start with the Copa America. The finals were played on Sunday. Brazil versus Argentina. Very well coached game, very well played game. I picked Brazil to win, but they lost. Very competitive, lot of tackles. Listen, no matter how great people are outside of their region, when they come to your region, it's a different thing when you're playing with your national team. Just because I find that players play with more heart when representing their country than sometimes how they play for their club. I thought Neymar had a good tournament. Messi had a good tournament. Emi Martinez had a good tournament. The Peru team as a whole had a good tournament. I thought the Colombia team had a good tournament. I think Argentina and Brazil showed themselves to be very, very solid defensively. I think Brazil is missing, though, a central striker. I think that is what they need to fix as they head into the 2022 World Cup campaign. I picked them, but I think too much of the burden was laid on Neymar in an offensive way because they are very good in midfield. They are very solid defensively, but they don't seem to have the Ronaldo or the Romario. They don't have that clinical goal scorer that will be on the end of the Neymar creativity. Unlike Argentina, who in the past they have Sergio Aguero, they have Martinez, and Messi, who normally ends up on the back end of the chances ever so often because he plays a little different than Neymar. But congratulations to Messi. This is his first senior global title for Argentina. And this doesn't make him the GOAT in my eyes. I still believe that Pele is the GOAT. If Messi would win the World Cup, then we could probably put them in the same conversation with Pele still leading, of course. Well, that's my opinion. You look at it differently. That's up to you. But very well done, Argentina. I felt like the Brazilian goalkeeper, Ederson, should have stayed on his line. I think, you see, Angel Di Maria is primarily right-footed, right? And so that ball was in the air. It was chipped over the top. and he had defenders coming towards him. So I think if the goalkeeper had stayed in goal, if he had stayed in goal, Di Maria would probably try to take that ball on the left leg. But because the keeper came, he tried a simple lob. The keeper rushed out a simple lob, went over his head, and that was it. One goal decided the outcome of the game. I felt like the officiating could have been a whole lot better. DePaul, I mean, he played very well in midfield for Argentina, but I mean, they were rough on Neymar. Man cried, "I water, man." Oh, well, what else can he cry but "I water"? Yeah. I'm back to regular programming. Yeah, so very good game. Well done, Argentina. Well done, Brazil. And I think I have an idea, but let me talk about this other competition that was going on at the same time, which is the Euro 2020, that because of the pandemic was being played in this year, 2021. That was won by my pick, Italy. From the start of the competition, when I looked at the Italy squad, when I looked at who the Italy coach was, Mancini, I said, Italy is going to win this. All right? I don't know what happened with England, because I think they had a great opportunity of winning a global title since they last won the World Cup in 1966. Imagine that, right? I thought they were doing well in the early stages of the game, and their strategy of high pressing Italy worked well, and they got the goal. They got the goal, and they took their feet off the pedal. And they started playing more of a low block, containing sort of a game, possession type of a game, and they allowed Italy to come into the game. I think they should have pressed for a second goal. But just watching the game, I felt like England didn't think that Italy had enough to break them down and that they could catch Italy on the break. And that didn't happen. I think that was where they lost the game. In the early stages, when they had that level of dominance, they should have killed off the game. Try to get a next goal instead of relaxing. I know you can't high press for a full 90 minutes, but you could have maintained a medium press instead of falling into a low block, giving Italy space to build from the back, coming through midfield. And they eventually scored the goal as they continue pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing, and they got the goal. In the extra time, I think the changes that England made, they were making changes in preparation for penalties instead of making plans to win the game. In fact, Italy looked like they wanted to win it before it got to penalty. England, it's almost like they were so confident that if this got to penalties, we are going to win it. So let's sit in and wait until penalties. Then what they call the dreaded penalty kicks game. I mean, everything looked well. Harry Kane, Harry Maguire. Maybe they needed 3 more Harrys, because anyone not naming Harry who kicked for England missed. So instead of focusing on Saka, Sancho, and Rashford, you should think maybe you should have called on 3 other Harrys, because only the Harrys scored for England. Harry Kane, Harry Maguire. Now, what that meant? That meant that 3 English players missed. All right, so my knowledge of football, and listen, Southgate, you did well. Kudos to you. You brought England to the final. You could have done better. So this is not to beat you down, but you could have done better. Rashford has not been kicking a lot of penalties for Manchester United recently. That's just a recency. He's a very good penalty kicker, or take-off penalties. Sancho does it for Dortmund. These guys were on the field for around 45 seconds. They had few touches. I think Rashford probably touched the ball twice. I can't even remember Sancho touching the ball for the time that he was on the field. All right, and remember, they weren't on the sidelines getting ready to come into the game. And so they had not a lot of energy and all of that stuff, you know, momentum and, you know, just zest and zeal going into the shootouts. Nonetheless, either some people declined or the coach just decided that these are going to be our kickers. Now, I am not saying that Saka should not kick, but he doesn't kick penalties at Arsenal. You have Aubameyang, you have Lacazette. These are guys that are up there before him. All right? Even in penalty shootouts, Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Joe Willock, all of these guys kick instead of Saka. I find it hard to believe that you'd give one of the hardest penalties to one of the youngest players in the squad. In other words, one of the penalties with the greatest amount of pressure was given to the guy who was the youngest. It didn't have to be so. So the question is, what happened to Jack Grealish? Why didn't he kick? Why didn't Stones kick? Why didn't Raheem Sterling kick? What about Calvin Phillips? That's 3. All right, so fine. They didn't want to. Why? See that Harry Kane is your best kicker and Maguire is one of your better kickers because he has scored penalty for England before in the last World Cup. Why didn't you put Harry Kane to kick last as the leader and put Maguire to kick first? Or if you put Harry Kane to kick first, put Maguire to kick last. That means you could put Saka to kick the 3rd penalty. Less pressure. That's where England could have done differently. Nonetheless, it was a very great game. Italy played very good technical and tactical football, and they must be commended. All right? They deserve it. You cannot say that England deserved to win. Italy deserved to win. People talk about, well, look what has happened in England due to the pandemic. Look what has happened. Look what has happened in Italy due to the pandemic. So any one of these nations in Europe won the Euro, it would be a good thing for the nation because all nations suffered throughout this pandemic. If Brazil won the Copa, it would be good for Brazil. If Argentina won, it's good for the nation because they had COVID issues as well. England doesn't deserve it any more than anyone else. Now, there has been a lot of racial abuse. People talking about the 3 black guys miss. All right, how far do you think England would have reached without Saka, without Sterling, without Kyle Walker, without Kieran Trippier, who are all black people? How far would they have reached? And I'm very sure there are other players on your team who would not have participated if those guys felt like they are going to boycott the whole thing. So let's be very careful. What does a man color has to do with him missing a penalty? Whether you're black, white, gray, pink, yellow, orange, it doesn't matter. Anyone can miss a penalty because the color of your skin has nothing to do with it. Whether you're African or English, it has nothing to do with a penalty. But we're not going to deal with this race issue on this platform right now, right here. We have more football for you. So are you ready? The Gold Cup kicks off. And today, look, I'm wearing not the Jamaican jersey, I'm wearing a Jamaican shirt. Do you see that? Sweet, sweet Jamaica. Now left ya. Me yucky and me saltfish. No. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this Jamaican team going into the Gold Cup, right? And I mean, I'm going to do a live video to get into some other things, but Gold Cup has started. So you have the Euro for teams in Europe. You have the Copa America for teams in Central America. Now you have the Gold Cup for teams in the Caribbean, North America, and Central America. Down in January, you will have the African Cup of Nations. All right, so let's come to the Gold Cup. All right. First thing, it's so sad that Curacao had to pull out because of several players testing positive, or team members, part of their delegation testing positive for COVID. And so Guatemala replaced them because Guatemala were just edged out by Guadeloupe. And so Guatemala got knocked out by Guadeloupe, but they were put back in because Curacao had to pull out. They played their first game and El Salvador defeated them by 2-0. But the thing is that people don't realize that regional tournaments is not a matter of names. It doesn't matter how big you are in Europe. When you come to play in your different territory, it's a different thing. So many people have been talking about this Jamaican team and saying that Suriname and Costa Rica, and it is possible that even Guadeloupe is going to beat Jamaica. They are talking as if because we have several backroom, behind the scenes issues with the federation, that is going to affect the Jamaica team. Listen, we need to look at how consistent Jamaica has always been in the Gold Cup since 1998. We have never, since 1998, rarely have we been beaten badly by a team. We have been outplayed on many occasions, but we have held our own. We have been in the Gold Cup. We have Gold Cup experience. And so I'll say it again. I respect the Surinamese. They are great players. They can't beat Jamaica. That's it. I'm a Jamaican. I am a Jamaican, and I will say that. If when the game finishes, the results are different, that's it. I will be disappointed. Cannot. If you ask me about Mexico, of course Mexico can. Of course Costa Rica can. Because they have done it before. Until Suriname has done it, they cannot. And if you believe otherwise, I feel your business that, brother. I feel your business that, sister. Don't tell me what to say. That's your business. Jamaica, all the way. We have a good side. We have a quality side. I have a coach that gets result. You don't like him? That's all right if you don't like him. There are other things. There are some things that I would love for him to do in terms of communicate more. But I respect this coach, Theodore Tapper Whitmore. And for those of you who don't like him, understand this. What he has accomplished in his life, in football, some of you will never ever reach to that level. He scored in the World Cup. You will never ever do that. None of your family member them will probably ever reach to that status. He has one of the best records as a local coach. In the midst of all the difficulties he has had, put some respect on the man's name. Put some respect on the man's name. Stop go around top of thing. Look at the facts and take your emotions out of it. You may say I'm emotional. No. Look at the results and look at the conditions that he has had to work in. Let us be fair. Because he's a local coach, he has never been given, until presently, many of the things that he needed to succeed. And he continues to excel. Put that in your pipe and you smoke it. Want to big up the JFF as well. You see, when they went to Japan, they had some issues. When they went to Austria, they had some issues. When they went to Saudi Arabia, they had some issues. And many people complained, and even I said that it should have been better organized. Again, I want to give them commendations. Mr. Mike Ricketts, Mr. Dalton Wint, Roy Simpson, Mr. Gaynor, and the rest of the GFF. What I can say is that this time you put better plans in place and we have seen the results. Kudos to you. Understand this, that when you are wrong, it is right for people to criticize you, and you can't take it personal. But when you do good, people will commend you, and I want to commend you, because not everything is perfect, we know that, but the reports coming out of the camp, as these guys have been in camp for several days, they are all good. Players talking good stuff, the coach, the captain, all the reports thus far are good. If there were any hiccups, is that Ravel Morris is not a part of the squad. We're still optimistic, though it seems very difficult. But I totally understand that you had to create room, that if there was any possibility for Ravel to be a part of it, you were giving it, you're opening the door for that to happen. It didn't happen, and I totally understand that decision. I'm disappointed, but at the same time excited. Javon East is never good for a player wanting to represent his country, and then he gets injured and he's no longer a part of the squad and someone else coming. But I'm going to tell you, I believe that Andre Gray coming in is a great benefit. In fact, I think if he had his documentations before the list was sent in, he probably would have been in the squad. That is my thoughts. But that's the work of the Lord, man. And we give thanks. JFF, Reggae boys, God is on our side. And if God be for us, then who can be against us? I expect good success. I see us coming out of the zone. I see us going to the semifinals. I see us going to the finals. And I believe it is possible. It may not happen, but I believe we can win this Gold Cup. Coach Whitmore, I believe in you. JFF, I believe in you that you're going to do everything necessary. Make sure that the players them get them look pocket money, then look per DM. Don't give them no reason. Make sure the man them eat good. If a man don't eat pork, don't put no pork on his plate. Don't do anything that will cause any problems. Right? It's so good to see so many persons as part of the coaching contingent. I mean, there are so many good things. Commendation. Make sure that every man's salary is in their account. Don't let the Gold Cup end and the players don't get all of their money. Don't let them have anything bad to say at all. This is the opportunity. This is the opportunity. You know, people also say, I mean, the scriptures, the Bible also says, a prophet is of no honor in his own tongue. See, Mike Ricketts still holds his executive position in CONCACAF because he was unopposed. Now, most Jamaicans would say he's not qualified. That's how Jamaicans are. That's how we are on our own. We always think we are the worst. We individually think that all of us, the rest of us, are the worst. That's how we think of each other. We need to change that mindset. We need to change that mindset. People in CONCACAF has acknowledged this man, but right here we tear him down every single day. Very rarely do I go on any airwave listening and hear positive things about Mr. Ricketts. Because Bible don't lie. Prophet is of no honor in his own tongue. Reggae boys, we're praying for you. We believe in you. We believe in your success. This Gold Cup going to be the momentum builder as we enter our World Cup campaign. We can do this. LB9, Leon Bailey. LB7, you change all the number for the Reggae boys. Listen, my friend, I believe in you. Listen, people, Leon Bailey is one of my favorite ballers. Don't tell me about no Cristiano Ronaldo. I know you're going to cuss me and want to beat me down. Leon Bailey, I'm an Arsenal supporter, but Leon Bailey is my #1 baller in the world right now. Don't tell me about no Cristiano Ronaldo. Don't tell me about no Messi. Don't tell me about no Sancho. Leon Bailey, me think that. So Leon, I'm not saying this. You know that already. I think Jamaica is going to see the best Leon Bailey in this Gold Cup. This is the best of him. I don't believe so far we have seen him perform at his best for Jamaica. But in this Gold Cup, you will see it. Mark My word. And I'm not talking about that horse that was at Caymanas Park. Mark my words. This is going to be the Leon Bailey Show and Gold Cup. Gold Cup not easy. Everybody thought like Trinidad was going to be defeated heavily by Mexico. Mexico had enough chances to win the game. But this is the Gold Cup. Trinidad defended like their life depended on it for 90 minutes. Game ended 0-0. Mexico could not defeat Trinidad and Tobago. Haiti also fought well. I mean, the Caribbean teams, both of those teams look well. They fought well, though they suffered a 1-0 defeat to the USA. I mean, they all had black armbands as they mourned the tragic assassination of the president of their country. But I thought they did well given the circumstances. I mean, they never had a lot of changes. They had some COVID issues as well. And so, yeah, they did very well. Very proud of them. In fact, I believe that late in the game, if they were a little bit more clinical, they could have probably squeezed a goal to end the game in a tie. It didn't happen. But good showing so far by the Caribbean team. Martinique were defeated by Canada. Canada looks good, but I just think like the Martinique team was playing too open, and so they were defeated. They took the lead. In fact, early in the game. Very well played game, but Canada just took over from there because Martinique, they were just too open. And I think that is the problem with some of these nations that have gone. They are not experienced, and what they have done, they have gone into the French market, into the Dutch market to bring in all of these players who would not have played for the France team, would not have made the France team, or would not have made the Dutch or the Holland team, whichever name you want to use, or the Netherlands team. And they have come in and they believe because it is CONCACAF, it is somehow, because they play in the Netherlands and these guys probably play local leagues, they are probably better than them. And they come in with this perception, not realizing that, listen, CONCACAF, listen, people forget that the USA didn't qualify for the last World Cup. CONCACAF is no joke. CONCACAF is no joke. We have a Mexican team that has many players playing in the top leagues in the world. We have Costa Rican players playing in the top leagues in the world. We have an American starting 11 that is not even at the Gold Cup that they all play in different teams in Europe. Jamaica has a team that can field 11 players who play in the top leagues in the world. Jamaica. If you look at the Bundesliga and you look at the Premier League, Jamaica can do that. We can. So don't think Honduras has footballers that play all over the world. So do not think that because we are in CONCACAF and you're coming from Holland or you're coming from French, you can come here and dominate and you're going to just beat us because you're coming from, you could have played for. No, it don't work like that. It's the same thing that the local people are saying about the English Jamaican players who it will be foolhardy for them to come and think, oh, because I'm coming from England, I can come and beat these Caribbean teams. It doesn't work like that. All nations are recruiting. All nations are better prepared and being prepared better. Football is evolving. Coaching is evolving. People are learning and growing. People are analyzing and getting statistics from games, and players are being better prepared, and all over the world. The days of the Brazil beating every team and the Argentinas and the Germany, those days are over. It is possible. Look who made the semifinals of the Euros. Look who made the semifinals of the Copa America. The semifinals of the Euro. Where was the Germany? Where was the France? Where were these teams? Football is evolving, people. So let us not fool ourselves. This is I Am Sure Sports. I've given you 30 minutes of just football, but it was good stuff. Good stuff. Remember, people, like, share, subscribe. Watch us on Irie Times TV. Yeah, man, because it's a big one. Irie Times TV. Check us out. like, subscribe, share. Tell somebody about us. We love the support. We love you people. We love you and we respect you for all the love and the support you have shown us. Jamaica, it a come here. I feel we own. Gold Cup, I feel it. What I say? Jamaica, the Gold Cup, I feel it. And if you don't like it, try and fight it. I am sure.